Hello everybody, this is Juntas, and today we're going to take a look at why I think the Demon Hunter is most overpowered class in BFA. So it's no surprise, the hero class, whatever you want to call it, is always really good in the first expansion, but I really do believe that the Demon Hunter is even too strong in BFA. This is just simply like it has everything. It has easy rotation and easy spec, easy survival, and it's also really fun actually. It's one of the best working kind of melee class in terms of mechanics. But I have a fun thing going on with like mid of expansion, every expansion, at least for the one of the two expansions that I bother with, where I level up every class. So you can see I have like a Demon Hunter here, or Monk, whatever, every single class level up. I also have a Shaman on Horde side. But the benchmark class is my main here, so we'll just jump on him on and we kind of just explain what's going on. So this is my main character, my druid. You can see that's 437 item level. I have a few trinket variations, and the test that I'm going to be showing the video was also done on AoE specs for all my alts, because the first pack in this little instance that I tend to run now, because I'm farming a toy item from the boss that can spawn or whatever, it's just really good with AoE spec to kind of clear that first pack and whatnot, because some of the classes have really poor AoE, and others, they barely have any AoE if you don't spec for it, like a hunter, a marksmanship hunter and whatnot. So all of the specs are going to be like an AoE spec and so forth. Also, another thing I want to note, I don't really play my alts. I only gear them up to, clear logouts in like an old raid or farm some weird stuff or whatever. So I'm really poor at playing all of my characters. I don't play good on any of them. And this is also where the whole kind of level concept comes in. Every expansion, when I bother leveling up all the classes, I get a unique insight into how each class performs at my flat gear level, where everyone is equal. They are all at 385 to 390. Only the druid are really bother gearing up. That's also the main character, that makes sense. And who I just wanted to note that I'm not really performing well on like a warrior compared to like a priest or whatever. I'm equally shitty on all my alts, and they are equally shitty geared as well. So we will move on here with the test. Again, we're running a little 5-man boss, kind of getting some AoE first on a pack that I need to clear. It's a really good kind of concept. I was also doing the same thing for Carousel Lockout farming. That was farming before I got that mount done, and it's the same kind of concept where I saw that some classes were extremely good at farming like burst AoE and then nuking down like a single target boss or whatever. So I wanted to show it off now in the video here, so let's move on with the results. So let's take a look at the results before I show how the runs were done. So you can see that the druid here is at the top at 43 seconds. Now, it's a really high item level. It doesn't come as a surprise that my field druid were able to outperform even my combat rogue, which obviously are very good at killing the first pack, just hitting blade fury and then killing speed. Everything is just gonna die from that. But an outlier was something like, let's take a look at something like, maybe my monk. I think my monk performed really well. I was pretty surprised by that, equaling to the Demon Hunter. I was very surprised by the monk, but my monks are also really good, especially because of all the like good cooldowns and like hand of fist of fury or whatever it's called. Like they have really good AoE. It just kind of takes up some time to ramp it up. They don't really have the greatest burst AoE, but it's still pretty good once you have the rotation going. However, I was thinking that my warrior would actually be maybe the best one. I'm surprised that it's only at 57 seconds. But you can see now here at the bottom of the list, warlocks. God, I hate warlocks. I'm sorry people who main a warlock, but god damn, I hate warlocks. They have been consistently being the worst alt I have ever played. The only time I really enjoyed a warlock was back in Burning Crusade when we were doing the Soul Link SNL PvP builds or whatever. Warlocks were really like tanky, kind of unique and cool back then. I don't see any reason why you want to play a warlock nowadays. Maybe I'm just clueless on the class. That could also be it. But when even at Shadow Priest, which I hate Shadow Priest. It's really priest overall, only good for healing. But when even a Shadow Priest is better than my Affliction Warlock, I should probably mention that. I'm not playing Destruction Warlock for this expansion in BFA just because I wanted to play Affliction. But like even a priest is getting beat. It's just so bad. Then you can also see something like a Death Knight is performing kind of mid-tier. It's okay. I don't really like Death Knights that much, but they are a fun tank. Hunters are also really insane on single target for marksmanship. They really do a lot of single target damage, but their AoE is just shitty. I have like 3-4 AoE talents, but it's never really any good. And then also the mage. Oh, and I should mention here that none of the results are tested with consumables, heroism or whatever. So that would probably tank the scores of my hunter, which uses a heroism pet, and of course the mage. But I felt like using heroism or whatever, bloodlust, whatever you call it, was a little too like unfair for these results. But of course, if you feel like I should have included them, do let me comment on that. But I just didn't feel like it. But anywho, that's the results. I don't want to make them that much longer, so let's just show the gameplay, how the test will run, because that might also just kind of cement your own thoughts, especially just looking at like how the Demon Hunter play, because I always feel like whenever I do any content on Demon Hunter, it just feels so solid, it's fun, it's a great rotation. And again, this is not a Demon Hunter hater video. I hate Blizzard even nerfing anything in the game. They should just buff other classes, and then maybe also buff the content if like a raid it gets too easy or whatever. But I just want to note that, damn, every time I play a Demon Hunter, it just feels smooth, it feels perfect. So yeah, do take a note on the Druid versus the Monk versus the Demon Hunter, etc. And then compare that to like the Priest or the Warlock if you're, ever interested in how all the classes perform, on mid-gear level and in shitty skills, because I don't play animals really good. And so let's take a look at the gameplay, starting off here with my field druid. Now, all the clips are going to be sped up like 160% or something, just to make the video not that long. I will try to explain the, the going-ons anyways. You can see here that my field druid is just able to clean up really fast at his item level. You basically just get a primal wrath up on AoE targets, and it just kind of swipe. It's very simple to play a field druid in AoE situations, only single target. So the field druid, or the furry warrior even, I love furry warriors. They're just so easy to AoE with. You just use whirlwind, and you just get some stacks to hit AoE on all your normal abilities. It's really strong. It's very simple to play as well. The single target rotation is also just kind of, you get a proc, you use that proc and so forth. Also decent enough survival just because of the heroic strike, whatever the thing that heals you. It's pretty strong. Very fun class, love it. It's definitely one of my favorite classes in WoW. So the mage, I always loved mages just because they have on the whole like RP element and whatnot. They're always a strong class. I just don't really think, I think they're kind of weak at the moment. I don't think I would say that mages are that strong compared to some other expansions ago where I thought they were a little stronger. Anywho, always a fun burst rotation with fire. Really do love using fire for single target. It's always so fun. Just stacking those pyroblast procs with charges and whatnot. Also not really, it's a bit RNG dependent, of course, so sometimes it might take a bit longer. And so the Retribution Paladin, very nice burst there. You basically just use Blade of Justice and kind of get some World Storms out, or whatever, Divine Justice, I can't even remember what the AoE spell is called, but it's really strong for burst. And the single target is also fairly simple. You basically just keep up Judgment, and then you kind of just save Judgment you get that the debuff up and just kind of use your combo points as you build them. It's fairly simple actually, but it's very kind of bursty AoE, and that's also what makes this class really strong, combined with this great survival, because you really can't kill a Retribution Paladin easily. And so the Hunter, it's really great single target, but I love or hate AoE on a Hunter. I have to use like 3-4 AoE talents just to make it any good. It's just not for me. I think maybe Survival Hunter or something, I should try that out instead. Maybe it has better AoE. But the single target, however, is extremely strong. Even in my really poor single target spec that I'm in currently now for the Hunter, the boss just goes down really fast. It does a lot of damage single target. So it's always kind of fun to see that it might be really bad at AoE, even with a lot of AoE talents, at least from my point of view, but it's really strong in single target. And now the Demon Hunter, everything just dead. You just go into eye beam. As soon as you do eye beam, everything just dies. I use fell fury, eye beam, pop the cooldowns, stay at full health, regenerate fury or the resource really easily. It's a fun rotation. You're moving in and out, and like I love Demon Hunter. It's just so smooth. It's so easy to play. Anyone can pick up this class and perform really well with it. Also notice the amount of keybinds that I only had on my Demon Hunter. I have no keybinds to use. Now look at the combo rogue here. It's hilarious. You just hit Blade Fury and Killing Spree and it just AoEs so heavily. It's the highest burst AoE, kind of cooldown in World of Warcraft right now. Also why they're really good for like Mythic and whatnot. And then his single target is also extremely strong for combat rogues. So good overall class. The survival and whatnot is not that good. I would think it's pretty poor to kind of stay up solo and whatnot in heated situations, but it's so strong. Now I'm using a Breath of Sindagosa and all the cooldowns here on the Frost Knight. Frost Knight is kind of boring. I don't really like using the Breath of Sindagosa thingy build, so I'm just using another one that's also gotten recently popular in BFA, because the other spec is more like skill dependent, and since I'm not really good at my else, this is still a good overall performance. Frost Death Knights are really fun, but they're also not really that interesting. I don't really like them. They're just kind of boring. Monk, however, I do enjoy a lot of mobility, really great cooldowns, overall a fun rotation. You kind of want to use the same spells not in twice in a row, so you kind of have like a rotation. Oh, you should use that spell now, stack that one, get ready for that one to be ready, and so forth. Not that many procs as well, which makes it a little bit unique compared to some other classes. But you can see the single target damage just off the charts. It is so strong. Everything about the monk is really good in BFA. It also been kind of good for a lot of expansions, I would think. But so let's take a look at the Shadow Priest. It's a weird spec that I have right now to kind of spread AoE and kind of have something going on, because without AoE talents, this class just doesn't have anything going for it. I have never liked Shadow Priest, even like in a heroic or mythic Iceland or something. I try to avoid them because their AoE is just bad. Their AoE just works differently compared to other classes. It's just, it's hard to explain in such a short while. The single target rotation, however, is pretty fun. I like the rotation. It's also gotten a little bit better compared to Legion. I think it's a little better than even Legion. Still, it's a very bad AoE kind of situation they have going on, so I don't really like it just because of the AoE. And now for the worst class, the Warlock. I don't know if Affliction is just bad. I should probably just try out Destruction again or something like that. But you just spread Seed of Corruption until you don't have any combo points to spend, and then you kind of have to wait or something like that. So yeah, you're basically just spamming 2 or 3 Seed of Corruptions, and then just kind of just hoping that was enough to kill or do some burst AoE. And then for the single target, it's extremely hard, I would say, even compared to Field Root. Now, mind you, I have played a Field Root in Burning Crusade, but damn, you have to really be good at keeping up all the, the dots here for single target on a Warlock. It is not easy to play an Affliction Warlock. It definitely isn't. I can't even imagine trying to do this on like 2 targets, 3 targets, something like that. It's very hard because the rotation means that the dots are not staying up that long on single target and whatnot. And now for the last class, the Enhancement Shaman. Now this one is also geared to like item level nearly 400, was it 402 or something, so it's gonna be a little stronger than the other elves. But still, I don't have the best talents right now. I miss an AoE talent on that one. The Shamans could have been even faster, but it's okay. It's still a decent enough spec that I have for AoE. And now the rotation is also really fun. You get a lot of resources to spend when you pop your cooldowns, which just means you can press buttons even faster, and then you just have to keep up 2 resources. Anywho, that's pretty much it. It's fun to take a look at elves in this sort of situation where you compare them to kind of the same content. If you're doing like clears in a mythic raid, or you're doing some sort of a weekly thing, you can kind of compare to all the classes that you play, and I tend to kind of enjoy that insight where, when you level all the classes at some point in expansion, you just kind of get, okay, I can see that class is bad, that class is bad, that class is bad. So that's also just mainly why I wanted to make this video. I still believe that Demon Hunters are the perfect class. They just, like, the spec is fun, the rotation is good, it's easy, it's like... Why can't Blizzard just make something like Demon Hunter for all the classes? I don't know if that's impossible, but god damn, those Demon Hunters are too strong. So yeah, I would think that maybe some ranged classes, especially Shadow Priest and Warlocks, should be buffed. And some classes should also just have better overall fun rotation and better burst AoE, especially burst AoE. That would help a lot. I just want to mention that also I played a Field Druid since Burning Crusade and whatnot, and actually in BFA is the first time that I really enjoyed Field Druid in AoE situations, because with Primal Wrath and some other changes, Field Druids have been so fucking good for AoE in a BFA. It's actually a joy to play in heated mass AoE situations for a Field Druid in a BFA. So that's really good. Anywho, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Leave your thoughts and comments and whatnot in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.